Hello. Oh shit, my camera's donked. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. How we doing today? Hello. Hey, what's up, Connor? How you doing, man? I had a hell of a time getting this chat working, so if you guys have been chatting, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to see it. But now I can. Fucking restream, I swear to God. Yo, 29 months, thank you. My gosh, Connor. That's insane. Thank you, Lizzie, for 22 months as well. Hey, Rick Sakura. What's up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Thank you, Liam. CP, Wolf, Mayhem. What's up, everybody? How we doing today? My God. Thank God it's Friday. TGIF. You know what I'm saying? It's my second coffee of the day. Usually I only have one, but boy. Today's been a day. I woke up, I usually wake up pretty early these days to try and get some shit in. I'm working on a freelance video edit right now where it's an interview series, and usually for these I create, captions and a transcript, and usually that's no problem. One of the interviewees speaks very quickly, and it's difficult for the transcription software to understand what he's saying. There's a lot of corrections. Thank Talos, it's Fridas. My God. One day someone's going to come for us and be like, stop this. I am glad it's Friday, though. I got some pretty cool news for you guys. Or at least I hope you'll think it's cool. I think there will be some degree of mixed feeling. Oh, I'm not under an NDA, Connor, but also I am you wouldn't be able to find this edit or who I'm talking about if you tried. That's why I don't say any specifics, right? Also, I'm a ghost editor, so my name isn't on anything, and I don't use that stuff for portfolios. Yeah, it is a challenge. Go nuts. Actually, it's not. Someone probably could figure it out somehow. Also, how about this jam, right? I'm like obsessed with this soundtrack. This is Rivals of Aether. Oh yeah, what is it, Rick? Right now, I use Descript, which is fairly new to my workflow. I originally started using it because I had a client who specifically wanted like a style of subtitling that only it could provide. You don't hear music? Really? Maybe it's just too low? How about now? It's pretty cool. It's definitely the best. Wait, really? That's fucking... Whoa, that's super weird, because I'm sitting here on OBS. Oh, I think I've got like a chat lag, too. Let's see here. How about here? I think I do have a chat lag. Fucking, I swear to gosh, is there... I'm sorry about this, because sometimes I think it's cool. Is there like an alternative to Restream? Because this shit gives me no end of problems. I love the idea of streaming to both platforms at once, but it's just kind of gnar, you know what I mean? Alright, chill. Yeah, I really like this music a lot. This is from Rivals of Aether, and it's a really cool fighting game if y'all are into platform fighters. I respect platform fighters. I think they're fun. I don't play them a whole lot. 2 OBS instances, 1 to each platform. That's an interesting idea, Finn. I don't know. I would assume so. I wonder about the overhead on the computer. But I don't know, maybe. I'm not even a partner. I'm not a, I know technically that I think our affiliates subject to the same non-compete thingy where you're not allowed to stream to multiple platforms at once. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I don't... like, maybe one day I would get Twitch partner, but it's like, it would be cool in the sense that, like, you know, I like the color purple, and you get a little check mark. Oh, now I've got conflicting information. No and yes. Well, I feel like there's people who are much more popular streamers than I am who multi-stream, and Twitch doesn't seem to mind much. Yeah, but a lot's changed, Liam. When was that? That, like, there's hella different changes to, like, affiliate and partner. Especially in, like, the last 6 months, I want to say. And again, I don't think anyone cares what I'm doing that much. I think it'd be the only reason I'd want partner beyond the cool purple check mark is, I mean, I thought for a long time that it had a higher revenue split, but I don't really think that's the case. I think there's people who draw a bajillion viewers and don't get that, you know, increased revenue split. So I certainly wouldn't get it. In which case, I'm like, I don't give a hoot. I'm just in it for the money, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Not really, but I do need that. I need money to live. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. Also, here's my next favorite song. Here we go. Next favorite song from this game. Actually, I'm going to have to search it. I'm just letting the chat fill out, by the way. I'm just in it for the money, baby. Do I get any from YouTube? Yeah, so Liam, I'm telling you, there's like hella, like within the last, let's even say like 4 months, there's like hella new rules for partner and for affiliate. You might want, there's like, I mean, that could still be the case, but here we go. There we go. This song's a fucking jam. This is Luna Ascension. What's crazy is that here's a fun little story. Yeah, so I didn't know that, Wolf. I thought that everyone who got partner got the 70-30 split. I was like, oh, that's cool. Turns out, no. You had to be pretty big to even get that, and then they're not even getting it now, which is pretty wild. And like, hey, honestly, it would make a lot more sense for me to stream on YouTube, because that's where the majority of my video audience is, and it's where as we start uploading new videos, more people are going to be there than on Twitch. Bye, Connor. Thanks for hanging out. You're the best, bro. So who knows? I don't know. Maybe. Again, I don't think Twitch is knocking down my door anytime soon. Say, hey, stop multi-streaming on your weekly stream. Yeah, my news, I know. I'm just gonna keep it going for a couple hours and not tell anyone, right? I mean, I'm telling you, Sakura. I mean, I respect that. You don't want to violate any rules, you know? It's better to not violate rules when you can. I'm not distracted. This time, I know what I'm doing, which is not saying it yet. But I will say it soon. It's probably better not to violate the agreement, for sure. But I really don't think that they care much. Or, I don't know. Maybe they'll start cracking down. Oh. Whoa, Max, what the heck? Currently on honeymoon. Alright, well, just for you, I'll say the news. But don't... You got time. You can watch the VOD when you're off honeymoon. Alright, so here's the basics here, y'all. I'm gonna crank the music down a little bit. So, how's that? How's this level? Dylan ADHD. I need a meme for that. Or, not a meme, sorry, an emoji. Can I get like a sick ADHD meme? There's plenty of those floating around. So, I've been talking to Lizzie behind the scenes, kind of figuring out the game plan. She's been hard at work on the missives. I've been hard at work on the other gameplay stuff, and really mostly a lot of behind the scenes reorg, as I believe I've talked about on stream, right? So what I'm going to be talking about today has a lot to do with kind of like the reorganization. Y'all know that I've been going through the mod suggestions. I'm up to about like 700 out of 800 now, so I've got 100 of your guys left. And then I got to go through my own, and then there's a couple other little repositories that I got to sort. So we don't want the news if it's bad. It's not bad news. It really depends on how you look at it. I guess for some people, they might, you know, like one part of it more than another, or not. So the quick version is this. We've been working on the gameplay stuff, and I'm looking at the schedule, looking at kind of what I got stacked up for the next couple months, and what I have decided to do, and I've spoken with Lizzie about this as well. What we're going to do is take the religion and the jobs gameplay features, right? Which are the next kind of big thing. Oh yeah, congrats, by the way, Max. Congrats on your marriage. That's so rude of me not to say that earlier. Congrats, my friend. That's super cool. There is... What we really want to make sure that we get these right. We want to make sure that we have the time to really just make them... I mean, everything is iterative, of course, but we really want the initial offering to be super, super solid, and we know that the additional time is going to help us do that. So, what I'm going to do is push back the religion and the jobs features to after the new year, for sure. And in the meantime, I am going to pump the gas on reopening the customization pipeline, which really has been what you might say the most requested feature. This is not the only thing we're doing. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it now. But that's like the main thing is that, you know, a lot of people love to, I mean, who doesn't want to customize their... Modding is customization. Modding is literally adding new mods to like an existing experience. So, we've been sitting for a long time. Thank you guys so much for your patience, by the way. We really, really appreciate, you know, we're not even a year out from the first version of Wildlander. The reason that we had customization locked down so tightly is because we wanted to make sure that we were, you know, again, we're 10 months out from version 1.0. We really wanted to make sure that we had the space and the time to get on a solid foundation, just make everything stable, make it work well, make sure that when people come into support, which again is a volunteer job, that they're not experiencing issues resultant from their own modifications versus stuff that is in the pack by default, right? Yeah, RIP Lizzie's sanity. So you can imagine that there's not in a million years would I do this or say this unless I'd gotten Lizzie's go-ahead. It's still going to be a while yet. There's some stuff we got to do. Lizzie has already built out a very strong foundation for the customization, like the resources and the guides for that. And what I'm doing kind of on my side of things, like on the back end, is really just organizing the project. I wanted to get basically like a process in place. I think that processes are very important for like a what is essentially like a software as a service, games as a service development model here for us. We're that without the subscription fee, right? Thank you, North. So I've been working on getting all of your suggestions sorted. I wanted to cut down that backlog because it was massive. Obviously, we hadn't done this since, you know, Wildlander released. That would help us fill out the roadmap. Y'all know I've been working on the roadmap page, so that's going to go live as part of this like initiative. And basically, we're going to have, hopefully, a much more transparent kind of development pipeline where pretty much at any given point, you guys will be able to see what we're working on, what's being prioritized. At the same time, people will have bespoke official resources. I should clarify. I was going to say bespoke official resources for customizing. And further along, a pipeline for essentially getting stuff added to the pack that fits, right? So if you are a modder or you're someone who knows the basics of patching or whatever, there's already precedent for people customizing the pack, adding their favorite stuff, doing a little bit of work to make that stuff work better with the pack. They upload those patches to the Nexus, and then they get officially incorporated into the build, right? The obvious advantage to having these official resources for customization is that it's kind of like a crowdsourced development, right? It's not, of course, as if everything that everyone patches for Wildlander is going to somehow make it into the official build, but that's where the roadmap and the suggestions board come in. You will be able to see at a glance what stuff we are going to add, are interested in adding, what stuff we're not going to add. So I think it really kind of creates this scenario where, I don't know, if it's not clear by now, development's slow when it's just our small volunteer team working on, whatever features there are. We only have so many hours in a day in general, and there's also only so many hours we can dedicate to the project. So, hopefully, did my chat take a shit again? I swear to God, Restream, if people are chatting, yes. There we go. What's up, GP? Hold on. I'm just going to get this here so I can double check. Yeah, so this is kind of like the plan, right? We're reopening customization. We're going to have like a whole Discord. I'm happy about this because it just means that we can stop being so militant about like anti-customization. Even that alone, like the vast majority of what you might call support issues result from this, right? It could, Bambi. It's exactly what Lizzie said. It means, the piss names, by piss names, Clier means there's a role that we have on the Discord for people who have modified their thing, right? And it's yellow, which apparently is similar to piss. We will have a patch to work from is a good way of putting it. The other part of the customization resources, it's kind of almost like teaching people, hey, if you want to add your stuff to Wildlander, here's what to look out for. That is almost a direct alignment or overlap with, if you want a certain mod to be added, here's how to patch it, right? And that patch is just, it's a useful foundation for us to work from. It just cuts down on time, because a lot of patching, yes, exactly what Hector said. It's what idea. Thank you for 14 months, Clier. Much appreciated. It's preferable for us if we can spend time on stuff that only we can do, right? A lot of patching is, it's not easy depending on what you're doing, but it's a lot easier than feature development. It's a lot more accessible. It's a lot more understandable. It's just time consuming, right? So having these patches as a basis and having this, codified pipeline for development, I think is going to be, a really this is not a new thing. This is a very precedented approach to development. The entire open source development community initiative, whatever you want to call it, is predicated on this idea, right? Where we all kind of collaborate and contribute to a sort, like, not necessarily to one specific project, but like people are always sharing their collaborative, useful work, right? So yeah, I'm really excited about that. This is the advantage to opening things up like this. And the only reason, again, that we didn't do this before now is because we wanted to make sure that we brought the experience, the baseline experience, to that level of stability that we had achieved with Ultimate Skyrim. And I think we're pretty much there. There's even, I was talking with Lizzie about it. There's a couple little concerns, like just a couple little bugs here and there that I think are still kind of annoying. But I think we can deal with them. And even now, like, we still get comments on a daily basis talking about, you know, how stable the experience is. So now that we're in that spot, we can do this. And I'm pretty excited about that. In addition to that, one of the things that I've been working on behind the scenes, some of you guys might know this, because I've shown off something. Y'all know I've been working on, you know, the HUD and some little feature ads. What I'm hoping to do, and I really can't promise this, it really depends on just my available time, and most of my time is gonna be occupied by getting, you know, the roadmap set up and getting the customization resources finalized. But in the meantime, I have been working on just what you might call like a refresher for. There's two main initiatives here. One is actually accessibility. I have gotten a lot of, maybe a lot is a strong word, but every so often someone mentions components of like the UI or the HUD that is like too small or like difficult for them to see, which sucks. And, you know, that's like an issue that we'd want to address. Two is, frankly, I have wanted to get the gamepad controls, you know, really set up for a long time. That also brings controls improvements to the keyboard as well. And now I have a Steam Deck, which unfortunately I have not managed to power on yet, but it's been sitting back on my couch for like 2 weeks now. And I really want to get the experience working on Steam Deck. There is someone on the Discord, the Wabbajack Discord. Let me find who this is. Hold on. I think their name is Omni? Let's see. Yes. So there's a user who has been working very hard to get the mod packs working with the Steam Deck, right? And we're very close. Really, right now, it seems like the major barrier is actually our lack of face gen inclusion, right? So that's easy. I can include that, no problem. And especially with the improvements that Matt has brought to the launcher, that I don't know how that's going to factor into the Steam Deck necessarily. We'll have to figure that out. But the quick version is we're, as far as I can tell, pretty fucking close to being able to get everything working on the Steam Deck. And that's fucking cool, I think. I'm pretty stoked about that. And I am, you know, hoping to kind of build out the gamepad control scheme once and for all. Not once and for all, of course, you'll, again, make iterative improvements. But I think it goes hand in hand. You want, like, an accessible control scheme. And there's a really... y'all know this mod, Elden Equip. I've spoken about it. I've showed it off on stream before, right? It's really cool. It's basically, like, bringing the Souls-like control scheme, the cyclers, to Skyrim, and I'm building the control scheme around this. I have a concern right now, which is Skyrim platform, right? Right now, Elden Equip is built on Skyrim platform. Some people have varying levels of stability, it seems, with Skyrim platform. Yo, what's up, Tayson? How you doing? Thanks for joining us. So that's a bit of a concern to me, and something that would be kind of like the chief most concern while I build this out. But I'm pretty sure the author, they might not. I've been speaking with the author a lot. They're super nice. Their name is Vorganger. And we've been talking about kind of like feature ads and stuff like that. And I believe that they are going to maybe rewrite the mod to be built on SKSE instead, which would be super cool. You know, then I think a lot of the stability issues would be, I can't say non-existent, but if platform is the basis. And I say all this, I have played around with Elden Equip quite a lot now. I have not experienced any issues. I would like to, probably this is something that we'd throw into the whole, you know, like the early access builds or whatever, right? To like see whether people have these kinds of issues, then we can roll back if necessary. But it's really fucking cool, guys. Like, any of you in the chat who have been with the project for a while would know, probably, that a good gamepad control scheme, and specifically cyclers, is something that we've wanted to do for a very long time. Or maybe you could say that the control scheme is what we've wanted to do for a very long time, what I've wanted to do for a very long time. Cyclers are a really effective means of, I think, keeping people out of the menus. That's why they're used all over the place, right? They are just, up till now, there's not really been a good way to do them for Skyrim. Many people have tried. They've created really ambitious and admirable attempts to bring like responsive cyclers and controls to Skyrim, but it's just never quite been there. It's all been papyrus based, right? And as long as it's papyrus, you know, there's a lot you can do. Papyrus is Skyrim's native scripting language, for those of you who don't know. There's a lot you can do to make papyrus, you know, as responsive as it can be, and you can write efficient code that, you know, doesn't lag, and you can use only mods that are very efficient with their code. But it's papyrus at the end of the day. It runs on like I can't remember what they call it, but it's essentially linear, right? Linear parsing, and it's not multi-threaded, which is a big complaint. So there's only ever so responsive that it's going to be, if that's grammatically correct. And that's a problem for controls. Controls are, you know, game feel, right? Like controls, game feel, UX. It's a very particular area of like design and player feedback, and like, if you have unresponsive controls, it just makes it so it's kind of crazy now to have this like responsive ass cycling, and I think it's going to be really fucking cool. Let's see here. Does not close itself reliably after crash closing the game. Stays, it requires it to kill all its tasks with a task manager. Anyone has performance issues from it, it's a bit of a problem for quite a few people. Also, it's Chromium based, so it's very CPU heavy. Yeah, I mean, I believe that. You can see, actually, that even, in fact, here, I can show it off. Why don't we hop in game for a little bit here? Oh, you guys want to see something fun, too? I meant to show this off at some point. This gives me a reason to. This is like a, you know, like a 20-minute project that I did. But I've been kind of slowly, like, editing my MO2 profile. This is part of the, like, accessibility initiative, you might say, right? But I really went through and, like, overhauled my profile, or my theme, rather, in Mod Organizer 2. One, to be more accessible and to have, you know, like, more visual contrast and stuff like that. And also to be, like, Wildlander themed, right? So this is probably the theme that's going to ship with every version from now on. It was like a fun little project. There's I think it's like a CSS style sheet in Mod Organizer 2 that you can fuck around with. So did that. That's really neither here nor there. That's just me kind of playing around and having fun. Let's see, okay, I got Elden Equip here. What do I got going here? Just a bunch of junk. Let's go ahead and launch, and while that's running, I can talk about, what the fuck was I gonna say? Controls. Oh yeah, well, so basically just, you know, if we're gonna put this thing on the Steam Deck, which I'd very much like to, I think that would be crazy. Like, we need a good control scheme, and we need a good control scheme anyway. And we've not really had it. We've had an okay, like, controls HUD setup. It's like better than the default, but it's missing a lot of parts. It's missing like a unified design, and I'm pretty stoked to like bring that. Again, I can't say when that's going to happen, or really whether it will be separate and before the religion and the jobs updates, or if it will be just included in that update. I'll have to let you guys know, seeing as it really depends on kind of how the planning and back end stuff goes. So we'll see. Yeah, if we could do Wildlander with either or VR or Skyrim together, that would be amazing. Absolutely wild. Maybe one day. Unlikely for Skyrim together, I'd say. More likely for VR, I think. I've really honestly never tried. If I did that, I would ask the Libram team, because I'm pretty sure everything they make every update they make for Libram and I want to say Somnium as well is VR friendly, which is fucking cool. And there's some cool stuff for VR, right? Don't ask the turtle about Skyrim together. Who's the turtle? Lay turtle. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to pause our sick-ass Rivals of Aether. Get out of here. Isn't this such a good soundtrack, too? I don't know if you guys can hear it. Pause. And then I'm going to crank up the desktop audio. Ah. Yeah, don't ask Carl about Skyrim together. Because Carl does not... I mean, it's really unlikely, I gotta be honest. Unless something massive changes. Okay, no, not you, not that one. Let's do... This is like a test file that I was messing around with, right? Yeah, don't ask Lizzie directly. That's about the... If you care about your self-preservation, that's the worst thing you could do. Yes, that's where I'm at, Sakura. I was actually going to... My stepbrother just picked up. Also ignore the weirdo health bars and that crazy... What is that? I want temperature shit. I can show you the HUD stuff, too. That stuff, Eleglan, there's a few different little tweaks like that. That is going to be, at least in 1.2.0. I'm not sure if I want to kind of tackle that stuff in the... It's a very different type of ad, right? So here is me with a gamepad, right? If you look in the left, at the left, you can see kind of like how crazy responsive this shit is. Like, it's really unlike anything else that we've seen before. Now, there is a problem. I'm getting... it's actually decent frames for me streaming at the same time. But you'll notice that when you switch... Oh, shit. My controller's dead. Is this one live, maybe? No, this would be a problem. If so, let's see. Are you charged? Maybe? Let's see here. Is it gonna die? Let me start charging this one as well. Hold on. 2 seconds. Ugh. Oh, PlayStation controllers. One day. I mean, these PS4 controllers have served me very well. Check this out. Yeah, the icons, everything you see here, by the way, anyone who's looking at I want, none of that is going to be in any sort of HUD redesign. But I am going to be using I want's functionality for a lot of stuff that I have planned. I can show you guys the HUD that I've been working on. Just, you know, little things. Let's see. So this is basically how responsive it is. I can see that, Sakura. So whether or not things would be this equipable this fast is something we'd have to see about. But you can see the idea here, right? Now there's one little thing. This is what I was going to show you. I think someone... Yeah, it's game level... Like game feel level responsive, which is not something we've ever had before. That's why I bothered to do that. It was basic. Here was my kind of process on this. It was once I saw, you guys know that I found this mod however long ago, and it was like, well, that's really intriguing. Once I had a chance to test it out, and I was like, okay, this works. I put it through the ringer and, you know, tested it to see how it went, and it was like, okay, we can do this. Like, this is, let's fucking, you know, the kind of fixes and control stuff and things that I had not, you know, bothered to mess with before now because they're just historically so not really worth the effort, frankly, is now possible for Gamepad, right? Like the closest that, actually, yeah, right there. The closest that I think anyone's ever come. Some of the cyclers that are designed for keyboards, first and foremost, are actually pretty responsive. Sirio Cycle Hotkeys is the one that I think of. It's probably, if it's the one that I'm thinking of, it's the most responsive cycler that I've used, and it's intended, again, for keyboard use. Definitely the best of any that I've tried. still not quite where you'd want it, right? Or keep in mind too, like you might be cycling through like weapons this way, in which like on item equip events are gonna fire. However, the real, like, here's the fucking kicker, right? So here, let me do this. I gotta remember the controls. We're gonna set up, like, the author of this mod really replicated the Souls control scheme extremely well, right? So what we're gonna do, I can't remember how you add. I think you just do that. How do you add stuff? No, that ate it. I can't remember how to add things to the. Oh no, that did it. There's like I think I'm using like an old version too. There's like a potion bug or whatever it is. They either dupe or something. But here, I just need to get items in the queue so you can see what I'm talking about. I need more potions. I don't have any, do I? No, I don't. Okay. Potion of. Give me like a bunch of different kinds. Because I need to show you guys kind of what I'm on about here. Add item. 398 AD 5. And then give me F84A7. And then give me F84C3. Perfect. Here. Yeah, okay. So I need to clarify here. Literally every single HUD element that you see on the screen right now will not be how it is. I can show you guys what the kind of design that I've cooked up looks like, and we can talk about that. Yeah, so these rectangles, the health bars as they are there, the circles for the icons, the I need thing, whatever that's going on over there, the compass, 0% of that is going to be how it is, right? So check this out. If I here, oh no, this one, this one, this one. So they don't dupe, but I feel like they still do. You get the effects of them, which is not ideal. I think that bug is fixed. So we've got now a queue, right? So you can see it works exactly like, what's it called? The Souls games. I think this works really, really well. Where, oops, I accidentally used the, what's it called? The button to, oh, you know, that's what I think it might be to, well, whatever. I'm not using Elden Equip's, like, control map that they want you to use, so there's a couple buttons that are, like, overlapping here. So that's not, you know, final either. But what I wanted to show you guys here is, in fact, let's make it nighttime so you can really kind of, actually, I don't know if that'll be better or worse. This is pretty, you can see it. So you get this item, not only do you have the responsive cyclers, but you have the, what I think is almost just as important for, you know, a cycling system, is a visual representation of what's next in your queue, right? Because here's, like, the kicker. I don't know when to stop cycling. Like, it does matter how responsive it is, but it can be super responsive. If I don't know what's coming next, that's kind of like a problem, right? So these little kind of show you what the next items are parts are very important. I think you could probably get away with only one, even if you even just know what the next item is. Not even necessarily the next two items, but 2 items is great, right? Oh yeah, this will let you, and I believe that the powers menu also has this. I can fuck around with that. Let's see, here, all I need is these 3. Right? Oh no, it's not favoriting, sorry. Hold up, we're gonna turn the queue back on, we're gonna go in here, and we're gonna go you. Right? So you can see here, does that one have it? I don't know, maybe that one doesn't have it. Also, my favorites button is still mapped to the same button as that. So it's gonna be donked. Either way, let's assume for the sake of conversation that the cycle preview is at the top as well. Because that's how it is in Elden Ring, right? So that's all fantastic. You run into an issue where you try to bring the cycle preview, and I was speaking with the author about this, we were both like, you know, our brains both went to the same spot, which is that in Skyrim, you have, like, we got any Souls fans? We got an Elden Equip fans in the chat right now, right? For anyone who's played those games, or even if you haven't, The reason that you have the little equip cycle previews on the top and the bottom is because in Elden Ring, you those are that's your spells and like miracles, right? Oh, that's cool, Liam. The top one is your spells, and the bottom one is your like items, your pouch type shit, right? Like essentially what would be on your belt, so like potions and consumables and whatever. In Souls games, those are the two types of things, of which there will be a lot that you need to cycle through, right? With the left and right hands, yeah, there will be builds that will use multiple weapons, right? Or you might have, like my Elden Ring build, I have 2 swords, right? And I have a shield, and that's kind of what I do. So, and then on my right hand, I have 1 sword, and I have like a incantation caster, right? And on my left hand, I have a sword and a shield. That's only 2 items per queue. You don't really, and you can have 3, I believe, but that's like the max. So in Elden Ring and Souls games, the left and right hands, they don't need a cycler preview the same way that the top and bottom do. And when you try to, hold on, I created a mock-up. Let me see if I can find it. When you try to add those to, I was trying to figure out, like I was racking my brain, right? Like, okay, let's say we were going to add these sort of preview cyclers to the left and right hands. Where do we put them? You know what I mean? Like, how do we make this look halfway decent? Not even necessarily keeping with this like little rectangle design, but the rectangle design, the spacing of it, it's pretty good. I think that the way that like Elden Equip does it and the way that Vorganger did it here, like it's a design that serves this functionality well. So I was like, maybe if we can figure out how to work it that way. You can see here they've also included, here. Oh shit. Let's, I keep forgetting to do this with my controller. We're going to do the light bow, and that will also, you see like how it shows the little arrow indicator too, right? Whoops. So I'm going to have my bow, and like a little, like what my ammo is will pop up there, so that takes up space, right? So we need some sort of indicator there. So yeah, how do you do this is the question. You gotta, let's see, I'm going to go... I know how to find it. I was thinking about going directly to Imager, but I got a quicker way. I'm going to go onto the Commons page of Elden Equip. Oh, shit. Oh, no, never mind. Let's go to... So here was my mock-up of, like... How do you do this? How do you try if you're going to, I created this to be like, well... This shows you how fucking complicated it gets if you try to do this, right? Let's say you only have 1 item visible for each hand and you're trying to keep this, rectangle style. Oh boy, do you get like a bunch of shit going on at once. It's not what you would call visually intuitive, you might say. You could probably figure it out, and if you've played a Souls game, you're going to be, in the it's going to come to you faster. But this is a lot of, even this one is like, it's like, oh boy, when you start to get 2 items visible, it's like, what the fuck is happening here, right? Who knows? It's nuts. So I was like, okay, what is my ideal kind of, what the fuck do we do, right? Like, because we're not bound to this. This is, if you go, like Elden Equip itself, it's not like I equip in the sense that it's going to let you move every little bit and piece. But if you know the basics of like HTML and JavaScript, like you can, and really HTML is all you need for the UI component. Like you can move shit around. You can do whatever the hell. Low opacity preview. Sure, spiral type. So this is the question. What are the shapes? Where do you put the preview cues? Blah, blah, blah. I've been messing with these designs in my spare time. I spent too much time one of the days this week doing it. Or at least I thought I had the time, and I was going to do the other thing I needed to do later that day, but then I got donked with a bunch of other stuff that I had to do. But here's what I came up with. And this is very early days, right? Yeah, you could do that, right, Finn? But it's like Breath of the Wild, kind of... Okay, I think most people would agree with me here. Breath of the Wild's interface and control scheme. See, this is where you have. I would say also, I'm getting sidetracked here. Breath of the Wild's control scheme, what I was going to say is that this is where you see how intertwined the HUD and interface design often is with controls. This is why I feel like it's important to kind of consider them all at the same time or in the same way. This is also why here, if you look at the Trello board, and I'm going to create, like a whole ass guide for this too, but you can see our labels here. Why are these that color? Do I not have my dark mode? Oh, I didn't have my dark mode turned on. Do I have like a filter enabled here? I do. Oops. So if you look at the various labels, right, that I have, I guess we'll just click a thingy. Labels. Let's do orange. This is I've organized, each color kind of corresponds to a different type or sector of modding. We'll say orange is my interface and controls, UX, whatever you want to call it. Dark mode, more like dork mode. Love it. It's very important, I think, to consider the HUD and the controls in the same breath, you might say. Using Elden Equip or Elden Ring as an example, and the Souls games since since the first one, having this kind of these four little boxes in the corner, it's like, hey, let's say you've never played them before, you may not immediately figure this out, but I feel like whenever anyone plays a game for the first time, they're gonna start pressing the buttons, see what each one does. Yeah, Kingsfield, let's go way back. I don't think they had that design. When you hit one of these D-pad buttons, you're going to see that it changes something in the little, I don't even know what you want to call it, rectangle arrangement. And immediately you are going to understand that, oh, I pressed that button, it fucked with that part of the rectangles. The rectangles themselves are shaped like a D-pad, right? So it's kind of intuitive that way. The design that I've come up with for, or at least like this version of the design, I would not say is as intuitive that way. To be honest, I am very strongly considering doing an Overwatch style thing, which for those of you who have not played Overwatch, I've barely fucking played Overwatch, to be honest with you, but as a fan of HUD and controls design and UX stuff, let's go HUD Overwatch 2. There's a very common thing in especially like, gnarly Twitch skill type games. Here you go. Let's look at this. I'm sure it shows it. Yep. The HUD here shows you what button you need to press to do what, right? Some people would argue that you don't really need that once you learn the controls. I think that's true. Give people a setting to turn it off if you don't want it. But let people just see what the fuck the button is that corresponds to, like, if you can't, like in this Overwatch, right, like they put their little visual components, their power buttons or whatever it is, or wherever they wanted it for the experience that they were going for. It does not correspond to, like a visual approximation of the buttons the way that this Elden Equip type thing does, or Elden Ring. So they put the button on it and say, hey, you want to, whatever, this is Mercy's flying ability? I don't know. But it's on shift, right? Hit shift if you want to do that. This ultimate thing right in the center, hit Q if you want to do that. And I think that's a good way to do it when you don't have a design that kind of corresponds to a layout of buttons. And of course on a keyboard, you're usually not going to have that. So all that brings us to this kind of working concept, right? Where there's no icons in my little cyclers, but you can kind of see what I've been working on. And just also, some of the theme. I've showed off different forms of the UI. So here's what I got thus far, right? So I thought this was kind of cool. I'm going for this, one, minimalist. I like the minimal. I want the HUD to feel natural. I want it to feel unobtrusive. Minimalism is a good way to do that. Not so minimalist that we lose any amount of personality. I think personality is another important part. So we have components of that. We've got like unique framing, right? We've got, maybe I'm going to add some little accents here and there to give it additional personality. Here's like the basic idea. how do I... Here, let's do this. There's your preview. Roughly to scale. And of course, yeah, these elements can be like rescaled and whatever. Third, accessibility. Very important. You need high contrast. You need people to be able to see stuff. This is like, you could argue the buttons are like an accessibility component. Opacity is a very important thing for creating the contrast. Yada, yada, yada. Y'all know how it goes. So here, what I'm thinking, and of course, so someone's no HUD gang will lose their poop. Again, you have a button to turn off the HUD at all times. We can make this contextual. We can let you choose. You want it on all the time. You want it to be contextual. You want it just off completely. You can do that. Oh, the screen's black? That's so annoying. I'm sorry. I don't know why it does that. Let's try now. You can pretty much... I forgot that it does that when I'm in Illustrator. Something about the... actually, you know what? Maybe if I do this. Sometimes it works. Now it's white. No. Is it? There. There we go. I knew something about the way it does its full screen preview is odd. So, I like my HUD to be connected to my gameplay, like unlocking certain parts by doing stuff in game. Like, contextual, you mean, Sakura? If so, I agree with you. And so you generally only want, ideally, you only want the stuff to appear as you need it, or when you want it, right? Like, Connor made a good point the other day, where it's like, you don't want to strip players of agency regarding the HUD. You want them to be able to choose. You want it contextual, you want it there all the time. You want to have it there all the time, but you hide it with a button. Go nuts, right? I'll show you. Now, the stuff to do with the need... Now, before I get into, you know, other stuff, like the needs and things like that. So what you see here, I'm not sure if I'll put like the left item here. I was trying to think of a way that this is still somewhat intuitive, right? So maybe left weapon is here, or left hand is there, right hand is there. Maybe this is up and down. You could do it that way, or you'd have left here, right over there, and then like up and down. Whatever it is, just, you know, you throw a button thingy on it again, and then you kind of know it. And you got like text here, text there, whatever it is. It's nice and easy, and you just know at a glance where the cyclers are. And I like this kind of symmetrical design. I like the minimalism. I like that I can now kind of like make the bars a little bit less. I think that when they're kind of stacked on top of each other the way that they were before, it's somehow, at least to me, it feels more kind of in my face, right? And again, they're contextual, but still, it feels different to me. And maybe I'm alone in that. But when you have them kind of like, you know, go, what's it called, like horizontal like this, can you add the close to the middle? Add what close to the middle? Yes, the stacked bars are kind of like, and whereas these ones have their own, you know, descript spots that they're in, which I think is cool. And then you have this sneak meter. I don't know exactly where I'm going to put it. I've been thinking about having it like up there, right? So you can really see it, because and I haven't decided if this is also a meter in keeping with this kind of like meter theme. What this is going to do is either fill vertically or fill horizontally. I would honestly just create both and see what feels better. So as an example of that, let's go ahead and look at here. I'm going to make a copy of you. Whoops. Okay. I'm going to put that there, hide this. Why are you... Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Never mind. I swear at Illustrator sometimes. Go here. Then we are going to select both. And no. I really just need to start using Figma, to be honest with you. I've been real annoyed. What are you doing, Illustrator? You. Let me align to keep... Thank you. My God. There we go. All of that just to make two shapes on top of each other. Or maybe there's a better way. Yes, Liam. This is well, it's basically an iterative improvement of the sneak meter, right? It works similarly, but in my opinion, keeps with... I think what we lose with the current sneak meter, right? Now, one of the things that I've said before is ideally, and of course it's not always going to be the case, this is part of what we're talking about, but ideally, when you have a HUD element, your users, the player, can discern what that element is for immediately, right? Something about the design or the function tells them what it's for. We sort of have that with the current sneak meter, which is the circle fill, for those of you guys who don't know. What helps with that is that there's a button you need to press to make that appear. So when you hit the sneak button, the circle appears. So that's your clue that, oh, that's my sneak meter, right? It's okay. It's like, we'll say 85% of the way there. You know what people definitely know is a sneak meter, especially if they played Skyrim before, but even if they haven't, is this fucking sneak eye. The eye is synonymous now. It plays with the, or sorry, it aligns with the pre-existing user expectation. And I think we can still get these little meters in. Yeah, exactly what Finn just said. The vanilla one, it's the little eye. Eyes are an obvious symbol for, you know, awareness, detection. You see things with your eyes. So you have something that still keeps this eye design, which I think is a lot of fun. Also, we get to, you know, have our little frames on it and whatever, and just have it fill. Have it do something like this, where we go. Let's see. Let's do. All right, I got my backup. Give me like a. Gotta get rid of U. I need a rectangle. I hate that the buttons are different how they are in Photoshop. Let's do U, and we'll path. Divide objects below, and then we'll take this. No, sorry. There we go. Delete. Oh wow, it's kind of wonked, but that's okay. Wow, was that rectangle like weird or something? Whatever, it doesn't matter. So there's your. Well, what did I do? Hold on a second. Why is that creating so many weird little spots? There shouldn't be anything else below it. I swear to gosh, y'all, like, if you hear me rant about Illustrator, everyone in my life seems to at this point. And I apologize to them, but like, it's so fucking annoying. Like, so many Adobe products just work continuously clunkier and clunkier, and just, ugh. We'll go here, define objects below. Cool. Stop. Which one? No, U. Get rid of U. That's what I was looking for. Jeez, why is that so difficult? So there's your vertical fill, right? Something like this, where, again, remember what the important components were. Because of the crazy, not telekinetic, what's the word? Psychic detection handling. I mean, this would be good to have either way, but it's especially important because all the enemies in Skyrim are a fucking hive mind, and the second that one of them's aware of you, it's like everyone nearby is aware of you. So we need to know exactly when the meter fills. That's why it's important to have a meter. That was the original impetus behind the circle to begin with, because the vanilla sneak eye is good at the symbolism. It tells you for sure. It's like, sorry guys. There we go. I don't know why the full screen preview does that. It tells you when exactly you're going to be. Sorry, the vanilla one, it's got the eyeballs very obviously like something related to stealth or detection, and vanilla tells you when you've been detected because it puts a word up there that says detected. Most HUD mods remove that. It's kind of lame, I understand that, but then you don't have that instant moment of detection anymore, right? So our meter fixes that, but then this way you retain the, what's it called, the sneak. So the second it pops, it gets to the very top, change the color to yellow or whatever, right? And this is the horizontal method. I think it's kind of cool, also because it rises towards your, whoopsie, sorry, ignore that, towards the center of your screen, which is kind of fun. So there's a strong candidate, I think, for this. What you could also do is, instead of the, you know, horizontal, you do, or sorry, instead of the vertical, you do horizontal. So you do this, have it go, sorry, define objects below. No, is that you? Sure, you gone. You can fill it that way. That's more in line with, you know, a traditional meter that goes from left to right. So I don't know. Really, either one could work, but this is kind of what I'm thinking, because then you get this, you know, cute frame. When you have it off, right? When it's just you're not detected at all, it looks like this, which I think is really cool. And of course, here's the other bit, is that you need to have a HUD design where all of these things I'm talking about work in every environment the game is going to throw at you. Skyrim is a game, at least our version of Skyrim, but even the basic version of Skyrim, vanilla, runs the gamut from dark as fuck places to very bright white. It's almost like it's a nightmare for like an interface designer. So if you have, here's what it looks like in the snow, right? You need to be able to see this even when you're in the snow, which is why you get these high contrast, accessible kind of design principles. What is Thieves Detection Meter, out of curiosity? Affinity Software, same layout as Adobe's one-time payment. No, I have not, Simon. I will look into it. For the one that I don't know of a replacement is After Effects, right? After Effects and Photoshop are the big two, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if Adobe's kind of entire business model kind of places them as the golden geese. So yeah, you have this, it's like you need a HUD that can show up in any circumstance the game is going to throw at you. It's very important. So yeah, you get all those as well. It looks like that when you're sneaking. Not obtrusive, but also visible, right? Or, you can put it there, put it down there, wherever you want to do it. Same thing at night, right? Let's go to whole ass nighttime. Oh, cool. Tinder hot, XYZ, whatever. We got our spam. I mean, hey, first one. It's not too bad. My channel. Let's pause and get rid of all you. Report. No. Oh, YouTube. Report. Spam. There we go. Oh, it's a different site that did it. Oh, wow, they're getting fancy with this. So it's like they all look like the same site, or sorry, channel, but they're not. You're kidding me. Are these two? Wow, the spammers are getting better. This is really annoying. Hide user on this channel. There we go. Yikes. Gross. Yeah, it has a meter to show the brightness where you are standing. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm more partial to the vertical myself, right? So anyway, yeah, blah blah blah. That's the basic principle. You can see what it looks like in the dark here, or even is this one darker? I don't really know which is dark, but you can still see it. It's important. You have like the high contrast, and you have someone mentioned the. I'm glad you like the black and white active effect icon, because that one is like it still doesn't have the meter on it, but I noticed, I think I have let's see, active effects, or I have like the old design somewhere in here. Yeah, here we go. No. I just want this one. You come over here. Come on. Oh, what? Can I not move this when it's in a... Oh my god. What? Why did... I hate it. I cannot tell you how much weird stuff happens with this program. Like, just actual obvious bugs, right? Like, not... There's always like, okay, well, maybe some people like that it works that way. No, like actual bugs. An eye is more similar to a bar. It makes horizontal filling more logical. I'd be fine with both. Totally. I think it probably wouldn't matter that much. It's just like, which one's nicer, right? So here's the, there they are. I'll throw this in the preview. Is that going to show up? Yeah, okay. So here's one of the original active effects kind of designs that I had, which is not bad. I mean, this is how it works with so many design things, right? Where it's like, yeah, that's okay. It gets you most of the way there. A problem that I found with these icons is that in this design, by the way, the circle would drain, and that would be like your what's the duration indicator, which I really like that idea a lot. Maybe I'll still do that. But I think a problem with this, it's exactly, yes, I can't even see who this is because, oh, it's Kilted Frog. Left fits better, and the reason I even bothered to do that, I gave the stroke like a little bit of weight so that you could still see it, because again, accessibility and like important, kind of an important thing is like the duration of many effects, so you need to see that. But despite these ones on the right being like semi-serviceable, they're pretty decent. They're heavy compared to the design of the rest of the HUD, right? Like here you have these very kind of sleek, thin frames. It's actually the same opacity behind it, but it looks heavier because of the design of it, right? So even though these are like somewhat fitting, and you also kind of keep with this like geometric shapes theme, which I think is cool. You have, diamonds here, you've got kind of squares and rectangles here, you've got these circles over there, but they're heavy, right? They're the white, the volume of it, it's heavy compared to the rest of it, right? And so these are opportunities to kind of like, okay, then what can we do differently? And this is kind of how I think about it and where I go. So yeah, this is kind of like what I've been doing, at least some of the time. Most of my time the past week has been, going through mod suggestions. I do have to go a little bit early today because I still have freelance that I got to do. But I figured we can go through some mod suggestions we're only 100 away from all the user suggestions, at least as of right now. And then I can incorporate it into my new, weekly tasks, right? Where I just go through them every week. So yeah, you get this idea. Let's get rid of these. No, not you. You can stay. You're cool. You can leave. So yeah, here's all your meters. Now, the remaining thing here, one of the big remaining things, is the survival systems, right? Where do we do the so I got big plans for like the needs and survival systems in general. I've been working on kind of like a gameplay design in the background, so I'm trying to design the interface around that. This is what I'm about to show you guys. It's basically just the same kind of bars down here, right? So like needs meters. I have this, so it's probably going to be visible with a button, or with they'll be contextual, so one of them will pop up with text being like, here's what this is, because otherwise these ones you'll know what they are. They don't have a really strong indicator. You could put like, I don't know, a health or like a stamina or something like that. That might actually be cool. We can try that. Or like there. But these ones you don't really know what they are, so maybe putting text, right? But I wanted them to be meters, one, to keep in line with the whole meters theme, and also because the way that... Oh, I did see that, Kilted Frog. It's cool. Yeah, the circle around, by the way, is for time remaining. That was the purpose of the circles on the active effects. The reason I want these to be bars, or at least they don't have to be, but like, we have bars, right? And I think they're cool. They do a good job of communicating, how would you put it? I guess a spectrum of values, right? Like that's literally what a bar is for. And the way that the needs will very likely work, it's kind of, you guys have probably heard me say it by now, but how the skills will work and how most of the things will work is to have iterative kind of successive values still count for something, right? You have all these different kinds of needs. There's 5 here because I didn't include like hygiene. I might still include that one. This is just like a mock-up. You got, what is this? Food, thirst, or like food, water, energy, so like sleep stuff. This one's warmth, and this one was morale, right? The way that these were going to impact gameplay, and this is also still kind of in the design phase, but it's probably going to resemble this, is that, there's certain buffs and debuffs associated with each one. As they go up and down, you get, more or less of the impacts, right? Spectrum, Irvine spectrum. Across for hill, teardust, mana, gust of wind. You could. What I really wanted, you know what I want for this is, at the very least, you want fucking... it's crazy to me how few mods there are for putting numbers on these bars, right? Have I seen outwards combine? No, I have not, actually. Yes, the needs would... To be clear, the needs would have text labels when you hit the button to show them just exactly what they are. You could do icons for attributes. We'll just honestly have to play around with it and see. But imagine there would be text here, because otherwise no one's going to know what the fuck any of these things are. So that's important. Something identifying them, right? Sorry. You can see kind of what they look like in greater scale. Thank you. There we go. So I wanted to make them bigger, right? Like these bars are bigger. That was another accessibility thing. Having some of the bars not labeled. The only ones that would not be labeled would be Magicka, Health, and Stamina, which I think if you're not going to label them, that you could get away with. Because most people generally know like what those are. But, you know, I don't know. You can do it. Yo, thank you for 20 bits, Noxon. So yeah, this is kind of like where I'm at. You know, this is what I'm working on in the meantime to go along with the control scheme. So yeah, imagine maybe the little indicators showing what buttons you need to press for these. Imagine these had cool little iEquip style icons. Imagine you got like bars here for enchantments, and that's basically how it would work. Yeah, I think that, or what you, I mean, if you wanted, you could have text down here that says like, you know, Magicka, Health, and Stamina. There are some mods that add numbers, kind of. There's mod, like we use a mod that adds numbers to the, what's it called? The enemy HUD. That's more HUD, but it doesn't do it for the players. And I found like screenshots of other ones that do it for the player. I think maybe True HUD has something like that, but then I'd have to like kind of adjust it a little differently. Who knows? We'll see. I would like numbers if possible. Or be able, again, contextual, or just configurable. Like make them whatever. Turn on the parts you want, make the parts you don't want not there, make them contextual, whatever you want to do. I was going to look at outward HUD. Is it outward? Combine body temperature, thermometer, the body on the left, and ambient on the right. Gotcha. Let's see. I'm going to bring this over here. Some of these are modded. Review. Outward is a rough. This is this? Oh, this temperature meter on the bottom left is what we're talking about, or is that a modded one? The text labels only show up when you hold toggle. Yeah, totally. I think so. Ash Cloud Phoenix. Enables you to swim. Yeah, actually, Sakura made a mod that's like that, Noxon. It doesn't place them in the same world space, but there's a loading zone that when you swim far enough out there, it'll take you to Solstheim instead. It's very cool. So this temperature meter that I'm seeing is like, okay. To be honest, I'm not a huge fan because it's kind of, I can see that it's somehow temperature related. And I like it because Outward has, it's like Breath of the Wild, right? Where it has heat and cold that you got to worry about, which is how I wish Skyrim was. But, you know, not until we have other lands where it can get hot, then we can worry about that sort of thing. So it's a little small. It's obviously a PC interface design. I'm sure maybe you could scale it up or like, who knows. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's fine. It's not what I would call like amazing. And in general, this interface is a little bit skeuomorphic for my tastes, right? It's a little like, it's a lot of different kinds of shapes and like bars, and it doesn't seem like, and like the health and what I'm presuming is stamina on the bottom left has this kind of like accent that it feels a little odd to me. It's not bad. It's like there's cool things about it for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'm trying to figure out like what some of this is. Yeah, I mean, you know, certainly serviceable. And then another thing that I would like to do, and this one I actually, this is like getting really complex. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. Is have like if you've ever played The Sims, you can see when your meters are like draining like a little bit or like quickly or very quickly, right? I would really like something like that. Also, yes, I have seen Ashfall for Morrowind because Ring, one of our team members, is the creator of Yajan, the, what's it called? The, oh my god, Marwin mod pack. My brain does not work. Ring is a Chad, absolutely. So that's like the basic idea, really just to demonstrate maybe like where the cues would go, how something like that would look. I don't know, I think it's pretty decent. And then again, everything contextual, yada yada yada. Also, where's my music? I'm just now realizing. I'm gonna, whoop, might be loud. So yeah, with that, I mean, that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover, I think. We can do suggestions for the rest of the stream. And I mentioned, so we got pipeline, or customization pipeline. We got the roadmap and suggestions board and blah, blah, blah. Oh, nice. Yagen 8.0. Wow. One of these days, I'll have to sit down and play. That would be rad. All right. Let's get that music back on. So yeah, I mean, you guys, hopefully that all makes sense, right? Or is fairly intuitive to understand. Let's make sure that's... Sometimes I swear to God, this program, I don't even trust it to save. It's like, every time it does, like, something I tell it to do, I'm like, whew. And the needs bar is going to have little notches on them with a debuff kick in. No, well, I actually did try a design where I had, like, little square notches, right? But it's... I didn't like the look of it as much. It looked a little strange. What I am going to do, probably, if like I have a descript point in which the debuffs kick in, it's probably going to be like halfway, right? Or wherever it is, I was going to have like a little warning indicator like show up on the meter itself, being like, oh, that one's a problem. Or maybe you could have like a little, what's it called, like red frame or something to indicate like, hey, you got to do it. You got to get on this. Been in the recent VODs. Oh, thanks. Make the bars glow when they change. Yeah, you totally could do that. Or like if you gave them... Now, it's kind of... Those bars are very likely going to be the I want framework. At least that's the easiest way to do them. If I were adding... The problem is like coding in ActionScript. If you want to animate the elements, you need to actually do it in Flash and write ActionScript. Otherwise, you can animate by having a series of frames, but it's still pretty, like adding new animations is a little beyond my skill set at the moment. Maybe I could do it though. That would be cool. Anything that tells me about scrolling my active effects. Yes, absolutely. The idea is just to, I mean, all of it. The idea is to keep you out of the menus as much as possible and just playing the game, right? How's the volume on this, by the way? Too loud? Looks a little loud. Meter burn. You get wounded, you can heal up. That's how it's gonna work. Pumpkin cake. That's literally, oh my god. Incremental injuries is what it's called. That's how our injury system is gonna be. Where you have it kind of hooks into some of the functionality of survival mode, but it's not actually survival mode. It just utilizes that stuff. Yes, incremental injuries. Oh yeah, over wounds. Sorry, Liam. It's just, I mean, wounds is really cool. It's just, my god, it's very, and it's an Iron Dusk mod. What I'm gonna probably do is just edit incremental injuries to bring over the stuff that I like from wounds, because they're two sides of the spectrum. Wounds it's too micromanagement, to micromanage E. And also there's a lot of like UI cleanup that it needs. If you go into your active effects for wounds, like by default, it's a goddamn nightmare. Just trying to figure, like there's, just a bunch of stuff. On the other side, you have incremental injuries, which I think is a very intuitive and easy to understand system for injuries, where it's like, hey, if you get hurt, if your health goes down or your, stamina goes down, your magicka goes down, that will do like meter damage, right? Where eventually the maximum amount of those resources are going to be capped, right? I think that's very intuitive. We have a way to visually represent it on the bars, which I think is fucking great. And then you just, edit the mechanics as to how to deal with them. I think it's cool. Yeah. People have done that. Ash Cloud. Actually, one of my early designs has concentric rings for the different needs. The smallest one gets too small, and then it just like There's actually, I think there's a mod that does that or tries to. To me, it's one of those things that it's on the bar itself, pumpkin cake. The concentric circles sounds cool on paper, and when you put it into practice, it just kind of ends up feeling weird. Or the problem is that you don't. A big thing about meters is that you need to be able to understand like the rate at which they like drain or whatever, right? Or like, I think there needs to be kind of like an intuitive visual parallel between like, okay, if I have like, what does 70% health versus magic versus stamina look like? In a concentric rings like model, it looks pretty different, right? Like the tiny one in the middle, it's 70%, but it only looks like there's a little chunk like out of it, and it's like, it's okay, but I don't think it's great. It kind of also visually implies that like the ones that are at the center versus the outside are like less, like, or smaller, which I guess is kind of the point that I'm making. Yeah, I mean, it's not horrible, but it just kind of makes, like, whatever the meter is on the outside, of course this is just my opinion, whatever the meter is on the outside, it just feels like you have way more of whatever that is, right? If you had 3 circles that were next to each other, okay, that problem doesn't exist, but when the circles are inside each other, it just, to me personally, it feels kind of weird. When I tried, I thought that was going to be like a solution, because then you could just have like a fucking, let's say like health, magic, stamina, have a circle in the middle, kind of where, you know, Overwatch's like, what is it, ultimate meter is, so it's nice and close by for eye travel, but it just feels weird, or like to me it did, personally. Alright, well, with that said, why don't let's see how many fucking suggestions we can do. I got about 45 minutes. Fuck Overwatch. I mean, to the game itself, I can't say, you know, I barely played Overwatch. I look at it. But I think the HUD design is pretty cool. Yeah, you could do that, Fire Lizard. I'm fine with the bars being the same size, because like you can have more stamina. A bar, to be honest, I'm actually like, the reason that I don't like the whole like, oh, the health bar gets bigger with more health you have, and then the magic bar gets bigger with more magic you have and stamina. Those things don't like affect each other. Like the amount of health has no, like, health as a value, or as an attribute, or as a resource, I guess you might say, has no relationship with stamina or magic, like, at all. You know what I mean? So to me, it's like, why do I have this giant bar like going? I mean, I guess it's useful for like intuitively displaying to other people if you take a screenshot of your build, like, hey, I'm a magic build, or I'm like a health build, or a stamina build. But for you made your build, you know what it is. It doesn't, like, the bars can all be the same size, and it's like, I know that I have more stamina, or I put a bunch of points in stamina, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? It's just it's a percentage, it's an abstraction. To me, the whole, like, make the bars bigger as you level up the stat has always, frankly, been kind of like a weird, or like, it's fine, like, it's kind of cool, and it's certainly fun to be like, yeah, like, I got a lot of health, like, look how big my health bar is, and like, it feels cool, like, that part of it I like. But in terms of like information communication, I don't think that there's a real advantage there, personally. Like, I don't think it really communicates, because like, it's arbitrary, right? Like, again, unless if there's some specific relationship between the 3 values where they affect each other, then it matters. If me having this much health means that I'll lose less stamina when I take a hit or something, then it matters. But as long as they're basically completely separate from each other, then you might as well have them all be the same length, in my opinion. Oh, I love peanut butter. Alright, let's see. Lizzie said 5. 5 what? Skyrim what? Multiple rings, the icon that appears in the middle for conditions relate. Multiple rings, an icon that appears in the middle for conditions related to them. What do you mean, Phoenix? 5 suggestions is how many you think we're gonna get through. All right, hey, I like that. Let's set the bar low. I like that a lot. Okay. We only have to get through 5, everybody. Well, so you can see some of the stuff. If you have not looked at the board lately, I strongly encourage you to do so, because there's a lot of stuff now that's been evaluated. So if you've made suggestions, you can find them, I'm sure, and see where yours landed. 5 is optimistic. All right, cool. There was someone asked what the news was. Basically, Kevin, if you're still around, it's basically that we're going to push the religion and the jobs back a little bit and focus on opening up the customization pipeline and getting the roadmap and the suggestions board. Basically, the project reorganization in order first. Last seed is the more I think about it, I mean, I could use Last Seed, I could use Somehow. I just think I'm going to end up... I don't know which one I'm going to use as a basis, but I just think I'm going to end up changing whatever it is so much that, you know, if either one of them helps kind of achieve the goal, like it's closer, then sure. But other than that, I might just make my own proprietary system. Yeah, I mean, Sunhelm as it is, or like it's fine. Like, from what I know of Last Seed, too, like how it's going to work is different from how I'm going to make it work anyway. Same thing with Sunhelm. So, it's kind of, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Hey, Omni, we were just talking about you earlier. I literally have not powered on my Steam Deck. I've had it for like almost 2 weeks now. And, I have not powered it on, but you missed the whole part where, like, a big part of the news today is that the next update is going to be specifically geared at building out Steam Deck support, and that includes new controls and whatever. And also, it's like removing the need for face discoloration. It's not even something honestly you would describe as needing progress. It's basically like, it's like the easiest thing in the world. It's like a question of running a patcher versus not, right? Just like how Last Seed works with Frostfall and Campfire. Ah, that's what tripped me up. What specifically? Kilted Frog. Holy shit, it's Tayson. Holy shit, it's Omni. Oh, yikes. This sucks. I didn't even see that there. Lokir's Rorikstead Abode. Oh shit. Lokir, this is not a house mod. I thought it was going to. Or maybe it is. Is it? I mean, I guess you can kind of use it for that. Rorikstead Revised. I mean, yeah, I don't see why not. This is kind of like a... I mean, it's a little sparse looking. Lizzie, I'm gonna get there. Don't even worry. It is hard to do when I'm reading chat as well. Maybe. I'm gonna call this one... Oh no, not you. Get on out of there. Oh, I have 2 open. Oopsie. Oh yeah, it would definitely conflict. Say further. I don't. Does ETAC cover Oh, I think it does. Needs further assessment. Wouldn't mind patching whatever mod we use, but the house itself seems a little sparse. Maybe it's fine. This one could go either way, honestly. You can always clean it up. In fact, you know what? Nah, fuck it. We're gonna approve. We're gonna say say why not, because we can just add a couple, like, you can make it look, I like the idea of adding like a little house for Rorikstead, right, or for Rorik, and we can just change it up if we really need to. It's very easy to do. It says he has a note, so it's gonna be new writing and dialogue. I don't think it's a player home though. I think it's a, call this a city town expansion. Get on out of here. Oh, wait, really? That's funny. Steam Deckifying Wildlander. Hell yeah. Super. Thank you so much, Omni, for all of the effort that you've put in, by the way. It really has been a tremendous help. And it's certainly a motivating factor for us to bring it to the Steam Deck when it's like, okay, based on your testing, it already seems to mostly work. Yeah, I feel that, Monique. Shit. Oh, yeah, okay, Kiltifer. I was looking for the last seed. Same general framework, all designed to work together. But, like, in how does it interface with those mods? Or, like, what is the... Because it's, like, anything that we build is going to interface with everything, right? Or any implementation that we're going to do is going to interface with everything. I guess the question would be, what sort of integrations are the thing that you like about it, or like what sort of together functioning? I don't know how to phrase it. New writing dialogue, VA, city and town expansions. Well, wait, Lizzie, are you saying that there's already a house for Rorik? Oh, dope. Thank you. I mean, I will hit you up for that, to be honest. Lokier has 2 houses. Okay, fine. We'll put this back. Needs further assessment. We need a spoilage system for sure, but we need a spoilage system that works within containers, which I might actually be able to do. Cold can affect vitality. Yeah, so I should clarify that, like, my plan for all those needs is that they, like, affect each other, right? Depending, of course, depends on what you're talking about. But it's like, for example, here's an easy one. Being dirty will affect your morale. It'll kind of drain it faster. But also, we're going to add stuff like traits, where it's like, oh, maybe your character likes being dirty, so then that actually either has a neutral effect on morale, or it even increases it if you're like rolling around in the dirt. If like the what's it called? If you have less sleep, then it will affect like other, you know, many different things, including like they all kind of, it's like an interwoven system, you might say. That's what I mean, where I'm like, I'm just gonna end up having to build it myself. I know that I am. I might use one of those as like a basis. The list of needs right now, if I include, like, I mean, I guess it's still always going to be a mechanic, the hygiene one. As of right now, it would be, at least the plan one, it's, like, food, water, sleep, or, like, energy, temperature, what's the fucking, what am I missing there? Oh, morale and hygiene. Those are the 6. Needs further assessment. ETAC already ends. Well, no, I'm just gonna... This is way slower than when I do it by myself. I'm gonna just say declined. ETAC adds a Rorik house. We need a spoke standalone one we can revisit. There you go. Wow, went from needs assessment to approved to declined. What a journey. There you go. Why? I hate that you need to hit move when you do it that way. 1. We did it. Morale is a need of... So morale is like your mood, almost. Morale is like... Think of it as like a Sims thing. It's like, are you... It's kind of affected by a lot of different things, is the plan. No, morale is not in the current version, to be clear. That's just what is definitely going to be in the. Ooh, Nat EMB3. This one. Good color palette, hardcore cathedral weather, sadly losing your master net, hardcore intrusive mechanics. I love the description of hardcore intrusive mechanics as a good thing. This is a person after my own heart. Weather models good for mid to high end computers. I don't really need to evaluate this much. I know like what the deal is. Nat EMB is definitely one of like the best ones out there. Say further assessment. I am pretty familiar with Nat EMB3 and its corresponding weathers, and they do seem very delightful. Going to check them out for sure, though I also have high hopes for raid weathers. At the very least, we should be able to add the ENB as an option within the launcher. There you go. Needs further assessment, and we'll say weathers as well. Yeah, Sanity from Darkest Dungeon is a direct inspiration for sure. Also, just generally, you know, different games with sanity mechanics. Also, I just like morale is a fun stat to have for like the traits system, right? And it gives you, it's an easy way to do the whole marriage of roleplay and gameplay that I always talk about, where, you know, like for example, one of the cool things about Frostfall, at least I always thought, was the inspiration buff that you get when you have sat by like a fire. I really like that idea a lot. I love the idea of, you know, you as a player sitting there like, wow, it's so immersive, like sitting by my cool fire, like out in the wilderness or whatever. And your character gets like a little bonus. They're feeling the same way as you. It aligns the player's experience with the characters. And I was like, well, yeah, I mean, an experience bonus is pretty cool, inspiration, but it's like, what if you had like a whole ass mechanic for that? Like when you go and do relaxing things or fun things, you like get morale boosts, or you get like other, you know, bonus things like that, right? I think it's pretty easy to do, I shouldn't say easy, simple to implement mechanically. It's time consuming for sure. Is that to avoid the nitty-gritty of a bunch of different effects for each? Well, ideally you'd have both, at least in my opinion, assuming that it's still intuitive. But I think, at least in my head, and of course, like so many things, something that sounds good, you know, on paper sometimes is not what you hoped in practice. But I like the idea of each need being responsible for something specifically, even if that thing is like multiple things, right? But I also like the idea of the other needs being able to affect each other. So, for example, I think hunger and thirst should both be responsible for, you know, stuff like stamina and like health regeneration, magic. Obviously, like your tiredness, your fatigue would have the most impact, you would think, on your mental faculties. So magic and magic regeneration would take a big hit, but also losing out on sleep fucking sucks. Like you whoa, what's going on here? When you're sleep deprived, you can feel like super loopy, or again, then you can have like a fun trait where it's like, oh, insomniac, like your character gets very like their energy replenishes at like half the rate or like something, but then, you know, your morale is like less affected by not having that much sleep or whatever. Like all kinds of stuff you could do. Yeah, blurred vision and delusions. That would be cool stuff to be able to incorporate if you didn't sleep for a long time. Problem with needs for me is keeping track of all the effects makes me not trust going into combat. I'm not sure how much attribute reject. Well, that's like the whole thing. That's why I wanted those meters, because like, yeah, the results can be complex, but you as a player, all you got to worry about, meter go up, meter go down. Meters up, you're good. Meters not as up, less good. That simple, right? That's the idea. Like the needs systems, that's why they should not be like on it. Like you could just assume at a baseline, and you would be correct if you made this assumption. If my meters are low, it's bad. If my meters are high, it's good or better, right? Than it is if they're low. So you see the meter, you know what it's responsible for. Oh, my morale is low. I gotta get that up a little bit. Is there a way for me to do that here? Oh, my hunger is a little low. What food do I have? And like that kind of stuff. Should be, the needs impact can be complex, I think. You should be able to see the complexity of it if you want, like go into like a more deep menu, and we have some plans for that stuff too. You know, it's like there's a lot of honestly really cool stuff out there for showing like the exact regeneration rates and all that kind of stuff, but you shouldn't really need to worry about that if you don't want to. You just, again, meter go up, meter go down. Cool. I think that's good there. I think that's all the tags I need. That's 2. All right. Skyrim. Oh, wow. Skyrim character sheet. That's a really weird coincidence. This is one of the mods that I have thought about. Very cool. There you go. Yeah, Insomniac trait should limit the number of hours you can sleep at a time for sure. Yes, that's the idea behind like the bars, is that if you're gonna do it like that, like if you're gonna create a need system at all, you need to be able to tell people that they're need. Like this is why like Lizzie pointed this out a little while ago. Someone had a good point where it's like the dirt or the hygiene, you might say, does not have an indicator the same way like the other ones do, and that is a problem. Oh yeah, and also keep in mind here, there's in this system, there's not really stages in the way that there is with like Frostfall or Sunhelm or Last Seed. Like technically there is, in the sense that like maybe meter full is 100 and meter empty is 0, so that would technically be 100 stages. But yeah, it's completely, what's the word I'm looking for? Iterative, I guess you might say. Sure, that I think comes down to understanding what the needs do. You would need to find a good way to communicate that. That would be, I was trying to think of like just general tutorialization. I'm thinking about doing, in addition to our wiki, is we have a wiki that's becoming really robust, and we're going to be transferring that to an actual like media wiki site, and that's literally all Lizzie and 3D who have been working on that, so we owe them a tremendous debt. I would also like to use some of that information in game. I was kind of thinking, I think there's a mod that allows you to like hide MCM menus, so I was thinking about kind of just creating Wildlander specific MCMs, one that essentially functions as like a universal settings toggle where it can actually toggle settings that are from other mods, and then another menu for like tutorialization, and I would build it with one of the new MCM frameworks that allows you to just open that up with a key press, so it's like basically like a wiki button in case you need to check what anything does. And then in addition to that, we have our standard, you know, what I do now, which is like have a big image appear on screen to explain controls, HUD elements, like anything you could need. So an important component of any mechanic of sufficient complexity is tutorialization, right? I think you're right that you need to, as a player, it's like, yeah, okay, it's like, okay, meter go up, good, meter go down, bad, but what happens if my meter is there, right? That is an important thing to know. Let's say needs further assessment for exactly how it will work with some of our in-progress systems. However, looks super cool and is the sort of thing I've wanted for a long time. I know there are some other mods in this vein, so we'll try to collate and evaluate them all. There you go. Needs further assessment. This would be orange. We're gonna go HUD and interface and get rid of you. Boom, baby. We did it. Infinity UI. This is really interesting. Individual elements, any UI, be those menus. Yes. Approved. Have high hopes for Infinity UI, and at the very least, we'll likely need it as a dependency for the mods to be made with it. We're going to call this HUD. This is also a... What else is under orange? Movement, HUD, gamepad controls. Meh. We got I have thought about doing a gameplay tutorial of that sort. I think it would be really cool to do. It would, honestly, at least in my mind, it would work a lot like RuneScape's tutorial island. I think this died as well. The problem is these controllers don't auto turn off. They need to. Because otherwise they just, if you forget once, it's just dead. What the fuck was I gonna say? Tutorial Island is cool, and I would like to do that. It's just time consuming. Again, honestly, y'all, I'm excited for the customization pipeline to open back up, because there's just for all the projects that we want to do, the team and I, and also like the community, there's just not enough hands and hours in the day. So I'm excited. I think that we'll have a lot of opportunity to expand our output. Oh, framework. Yeet. And approved. What is that? 3? 4? 3 or 4, excuse me. I burped. Carrier carcasses. Is this the add-on for alternate without animations, carrier carcasses with animation? What's the deal here? Ugh. Spam. Get out of here. Hide user on this channel. See ya. The suggestion I left on your comment tempering it. What was the comment? Sorry, Screamio. If this is, did you leave it on Reddit or on? Oh wow, the chat is super laggy. Or wait a second, it's not even. I like last year's spoilers. Wait a second. Oh, okay. No, I guess I must have missed it. What was the comment about the tempering devlog? Because if you left it on Patreon, I swear to God, that website's interface is the worst. Oh, on YouTube. Did I reply to it? Oh, is this the one about wow, look at that cowboy hat. Having like the shittiest weapons not be able to be tempered like all the way? Because if so, I have been thinking about it a lot, and I think it's really cool. Yeah, I'm super down. I've actually literally been thinking about that, and I think I know of a way to do it. I mean, you definitely can do it. I'm trying to figure out how it might fit in. This is fucking cool, by the way. Or more. Yes, of course, a butter knife you should be able to upgrade to match the best weapon in the world, right? Yeah, totally, Phoenix. I think that's a good idea. Oh, CP, that was your idea. CP's always got the good ideas. Legends. You know what I wish? I wish that there actually might be some way to do this. Well, sort of. There's like, if I could expand the number. So okay, here's my issue. Is the Frostfall tutorials use the message boxes, and the message boxes are so intrusive. They like pop up into your face. They stop the game, and they need to be able to stop the game. Even if we add Skyrim souls, we can't let them remain unlocked because we depend on message boxes stopping the game for certain scripts. It breaks your immersion. It's, yeah, as Lisa said, it's like bam, right in your face. If, however, I could have what is essentially a message box appear that doesn't do any of those things, maybe it's like over here, and it's, you know, the game keeps going, I'm still playing, it's not right like in the middle of my viewport, then I'm down, and I might be able to do that with I Want, because you can use that. Well, I Want is essentially a framework to display images based on conditions, right? So that's definitely something I could do. Hopefully. My concern would be how many bars do I get? Because what you have, I Want status bars. This, I tried to get widgets working with just I Want, which like maybe I could. I feel so. This author, what they tried to do was basically create a simple framework for people to be able to make widgets and display stuff on the screen. Because again, doing that is annoying as shit in Skyrim. The Flash interface is very difficult to work with in the year of our Lord 2022. It's tough, right? So this was supposed to be the framework to help with that, and even this mod, which vastly simplifies the process, is still, I think, a bit complex for people. It was certainly pretty complex for me. So then they went ahead and made I Want status bars, which kind of takes. It's like if the first mod was 85% of the legwork, this is like the additional 10, so now you have to do 5%. But you can only do 10 bars, so maybe I can figure out a way to just properly figure out I Want widgets. But, you know, we'll see. Try the HD ambient occlusion option of NAT complete. FPS murder. Oof! That's gnarly. Yeah, I don't mind that they pause the game that much. I'm not a huge fan of it. I just hate that they're right in the middle of my face. That's my biggest annoying thing. And the problem is if they're like notifications, it's like you can't display enough information and it fades away too fast, which you kind of touched on. Let's see. Yeah, Requiem caps your upgrade ability based on material. That's like how I would probably do it. But I would create new keywords because materials are going to be scalable. Okay. Well, let's see here. Carrier carcasses. So there's an animation, huh? Let's see. Can I see what this looks like? Yes, please. Wow, this song is... There's a lot going on here. Go, please. Wow, look at this. This is so cool. Yeet that goat. Whoa! The animation's a little... not amazing, but it's cool. Oh, yes. Other token. Is this where the head, it puts like a head on your belt? Lizzie, the in-game help system is what again? Yeah, this is rad. Let's see. So how does it work here? So this is, yeah, it's an add-on to immersive equipment display, right? I should make a label for that. Say immersive equipment display. And that would be like a generalized. Boom. When you hit escape, there's a help menu. Really? Really? Is it like an option? Is it an MCM? Or it's a... How does it work? Oh, I believe... Oh, it's running. I forgot the game was running. Holy shit, there's a help menu. Whoa. Today I learned. How do I go back? Oh. Wow, look at this. Wow, and this is all vanilla? Are you fucking kidding me? No, maybe. These are vanilla. That's so weird. I hope I'm not, yeah, I hope I'm not alone in this. Yeah, I guess a lot of this information is now outdated. This is crazy. Okay, so are we all in the same boat here where no one has any idea that this is here? How many times have I scrolled right past this setting and never even, or this button? That's nuts. I had no fucking clue. Well, yeah, we should use this for sure. Most definitely. And then what we could do is we could do, so for the need stuff, you could display a message box still if you wanted, but you could display a message being like, hey, your, like a one-time message or a two-time message or whatever that says like your hunger or like I'm running low or whatever it is, and says like check the help menu for more information, right? Yeah, that's the crazy. I'm with Nostalgia Chef where it's like I don't think my brain has processed this. How many times must I have seen this button? And it's just like it's like in Berserk when no one can see the elves if they're like, I mean basically just lame. But if they're like too adult and they don't see like the make-believe creatures or whatever, they just can't even fathom magic. It's like I just right past it. Wow, you guys are smarter than me. Yeah, exactly. I'm beyond help too. That's hilarious. I can't believe that. I'm like, what? Oh, Skyrim, look, there's a bear. Wild. Lizzie, how many mod suggestions have we got through? What time is it? 2:10? Okay. Is this 5? Immersive animation holding the carcass of the animal you killed, not to be confused with the other carry carcass mod. Already suggested this as an addition. 4? Okay. Without animation. So how does this work if you don't have the animations? Adds animal carcass to your person when they're in your inventory. Can I see like a video? Okay, this one's the newest one. Recoil on objects. Skyjack, simple woodcutter. Campfire. Carry your carcasses with animation. I'm gonna mute this so that I don't get demonetized. Thank you, AJR. This is, sorry, Arjarim Mod. Credit to this channel. Sorry, I missed the fucking thing I was supposed to look at. Oops. Look at that armor. Harvest ingredients. Oh, this is just Hunterborn. Okay, under carrier. Where is it gonna? Presumably, it's gonna get there soon. Cool. Thank you, Jord. Yeah, who reads the README? Apparently not me. Apparently not a lot of people. Oh, this is gonna show the animation. Wow, look at that. That's the animation. That one's pretty good. I mean, the elk is a little stiff. That's also, geez, you're gonna hurt your back that way. Nice, gotcha, Lizzie. That shaking has to be just like an animation error, right? Or is that like, like I can't lift it, my legs are shaking. The elk looks hilarious. The problem with the animation is it doesn't look like how it would go. Yeah, I got the jelly legs. Oh, that's the horse models from Miss Lady. Oh my god, this spam. So cool. Very cool. Get on out of here. Spam. YouTube, do something about this. Come on. Okay, well, so that's, I mean, again, that's cool. I want to see what it looks like without the, oh, I hate how next, I always assume it's like a different tab. I want to see it without the animation if possible. If you're going to try and carry a fully grown deer on your back, I think don't carry it like that. Okay, credit to Mern. Intro, first mod, second mod, third mod. Why that's an interesting way to do the... Maybe they want it to be like a secret. Uh-oh. Many immersive loot boxes and keys. This is Robbie made this. Bone mold armor with pauldron. Second mod. Is this it? What's it gonna be? Wow, this is like the same grass and everything that we use. And trees. Elk, pick up. Yep, this is it. This video seems like it's well edited and like it'd be funny. Oh, that's the same textures we use too. What's the chances this person has an edited version of Wildlander? That would be so cool, wouldn't it? So I think they're using the animation as well. Damn it. Doesn't that... I mean, it's happy little trees over there. I mean, obviously it's happy little trees. That's an edited... I know that model. I saw it in the suggestions. I prevented people from picking up mammoths at the very least. Okay. Dang it. I don't... I mean, I guess I can figure it out myself. I'm going to say, where's carrier carcasses? This is approved. Or does this require the original... Oopsie. Require the original one? Let's find out. Description. Or is it standalone? Requirements. Yeah, it does require it. Okay. So this one, at the very least, is approved. We'll say approved. Need to say the animations from the add-on look decent, but I'd like to see... Oh, wait a second. No, this is the animation one. What? Oh, without animations. God, my brain does not work. Sorry. Let's carry your carcass. Do we have a separate ticket for this one? Yes, we do. There it is. Oh, that's why. Okay, approved. I was on a different tab. Okay, now we're cooking with fire. Still need to see how it looks without animations versus with. The animations look decent, but a little wonky. I'll say from the below linked mod look decent. So this one's approved for sure. Oh, this is my suggestion. Ah, that makes sense. Assessed and approved. And this is going to be, well, ouch. This would be an animation, I suppose. Animations and skeleton. It gets immersive equipment displays. It gets hunting. And we'll say creature visuals as well. And get rid of you. Cool. Click this card and do needs further assessment. Gotcha, Jord. Oh man, Phoenix, that would be so difficult, tedious. I applaud it. Let's see. So the animations, nah, wait. I generally like putting this first. Animations look a little wonky, but probably serviceable. We'll see. Save. Immersive equipment display, animations, and skeleton. Hunting. What was the other ones? Immersive equipment display, and creature visuals. Nice. Thanks very much. Yeah, I'm going to have to bounce pretty quick here. I just wanted to get more than 5. Get on out of here. Say it needs further assessment. Nice. Elemental eyes. That one seems not as difficult. Wow. These are intense. These are not, those aren't like in-game models. This is like for this mock-up, are they? These look like these are real people that have had these eyes photoshopped onto them. Like, I'm like 99% sure. What do they look like in-game? Or is this in-game? No way is this fucking in-game. We have a lot of eyes already. Wow. They are... Yeah. This seems maybe not my... Well... It's one of those things where, like, how big is the file? It's pretty small. So, like, you know, it's assuming that they're not replacers. Yeah, they're standalone. So, like, it's kind of like more options for people who might like them. Yeah, it's like if they glow in the dark, it's like, it's not something I'd probably opt for, but with stuff like this, I'm usually not super opposed because it's like, you know, if you like it, you can go for it. Honestly, the thing that is the more of a problem for me is the scleras are too white. I'm going to mark it questionable. Are there new weapons in Wildlander? Not yet. Not yet, but oh boy, there is going to be a lot. You can go through at the suggestions board and take a look at a bunch of the ones. Search by new items. It's one of the blue labels. All right, I'm going to say questionable. Don't mind the concept. All right, here, let's do this. These eyes are very intense and glow in the dark. I don't mind standalone. But the white scleras honestly makes me, how do I put this? Have me lean towards non-inclusion. It's a very verbose way to be like, maybe. Say humanoid visuals and player customization would be this one. And get rid of you. Questionable. Boom. Oh, it's Grasswalker's suggestion, though. That's my bro. I did add something else that he suggested. That's something where it's like, you know, we're opening up customization, so that's an easy one for people to add in if they like it themselves. Oh, here's some stuff. NVIDIA Reflex support. Oh, it's Ray. I don't know how to pronounce. I'm going to call this person Ray. They're a frequent community member. Reduces latency. This is one of Doodle's. Yes, believe. That's cool. I will say. So stuff like this, I'm definitely willing to test. I am a little worried. About the impact. This is the one that doesn't work with ENBs. That would be a problem. Well, okay. I mean, my answer is basically going to be the same. So I tried like Doodle's Shadow Boost a little while ago, and I was having some weird issues with it, but that was like the first version. So these are all going to be needs further assessment. Given the nature of such low level edits to rendering systems, but seems cool. There you go. And that would be performance improvements. Get rid of you. Needs further assessment. I'm going to just literally copy and paste. See, this one, I'm cheating. I'm getting more done because it's going to be the same. to this one, we'll say to, yeah, well, I guess it's still rendering systems, honestly. Performance improvements. Get rid of that one. Needs further assessment. The problem, yeah, I mean, that would be a concern. Maybe I should add that as well. Wait. Yeah, we've done more than 5, Liam. We're on like 7 or 8 now. The issue with stuff like this is that I'm like a big, unless we can program it into the launcher, which we're working on that functionality. I mean, the functionality exists. We just need an interface for it. If you have a mod like that gives like variable performance improvements or like affects some people adversely, it's a tough potential inclusion. Consistency is key. Shadow diffusion dynamically adjusts the looks of shadows depending on lighting. This one is more like I don't think it's necessarily a performance improvement, it's actual like visuals. I saw this. That's pretty cool. I say needs further assessment, but sounds dank in theory, and am stoked to try it out! Exclamation point. This one will say be environment visuals, EMB effects and shaders. And lighting, I guess it would count as. Alright. I think that's diffusion works good. Alright, chill. I've done 8. Alright, make it 9. How about no, we'll round it out at a convenient horses. Oh, we use immersive horses. That's right. We'll make it an even 10, because I already know how I feel about that. This one needs further assessment. Convenient horses. Needs further assessment. I have always loved the idea of CH precisely because it adds not relationship. I think I should write down the words horse relationship system because it's a very different set of implications. Horse, what's the word that I'm looking for? Bonding system. Some other cool stuff. Yeah, you got it, Liam. ADHD defeated permanently. Never gonna be a problem again. Some other cool stuff. But it is very extensive, and also extracting immersive horses is a lot of work. Also, there are some mods I know are not compatible with the horses, though I can't remember. Jeez. Which ones off the top of my head will update if I remember. Let's see. Horse riding. Oh, it's already marked that. Horse riding, and I wouldn't exactly call it a framework. Honestly, I think that's it for that one. Needs further assessment. Boom, baby. All right, y'all. That's a clean 10. I think that's good. Horse bondage. Yes, wonderful. I think that's going to do it for today. I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and hanging out, and I hope that, all the information is what you came here to hear and that you're stoked about it, blah, blah, blah. That was, no, I think it was 112. I think it was definitely 100. Look, Lizzie, we finished. We got all 100. More even. I'm sure. All right, y'all. I really appreciate you guys hanging out. As always, you know where to find me. If you got questions, if you got comments, I really do try to reply to everything. And I get feature ideas from people all the time. Like Screamio, wherever they went, had an idea on a YouTube comment about, like, because I was mentioning, scaling up these different weapons with our new system. And they were like, oh, but what if, the shittiest weapons like couldn't be scaled up as high? And I was like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. Because, if you have like a dog shit sword, it's probably never going to be as good as like a cool one put together. So that's probably how I'm going to implement it. So I definitely do take your suggestions. If you have mod suggestions, you know where to put them. Please search for existing ones first to, keep Lizzie's sanity. Later, CP. Thanks for hanging out. And yeah, just thank all you guys for your constant support. It really does mean the world to us. And it's honestly fucking crazy. It really helps us continue doing what we do. And I really appreciate it. My wife makes fun of my pronunciation of I say appreciate, which is very Californian. Appreciate. All right, let's see. Who's on Twitch? Who can we raid? Show more. All right, I think we're gonna raid my boy Jupiter Climb. Castlevania speedrunner. He's the best. He's playing. Oh, Curse of the Moon? Curse of Darkness. That's one of the PS2 ones. I don't know shit about that, but Jupe is cool. So we're going to do it. All right, Jupiter Climb. Stick around if you're down for some Castlevania content. You should be, because Castlevania is the best. I used to be named after a Castlevania reference, my YouTube handle. I also reserve the right to tell you to visit Speed. Oh, I got a. What is that? Savers? What is that? Spect Savers. Alright, ready to raid. Y'all, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I don't even know what that is, Lizzie. You gotta tell me. I will see you. Opticians. Gotcha. Oh, yes. Is that officially announced now? Monique? That's crazy. Well, it's the end of the stream and the raid's gonna kick me off, but yes, how fucking crazy is that, right? Oh shit. Well, that's absolutely wild. I'm really stoked. I think that it's really cool. And we were saying we may have known a little bit early. It's just keep it on the hush hush, but not now. Now you can say whatever you want. And I think that that's really, we were saying like, geez, if there's going to be anything that actually might get us to use like Vortex or whatever the heck, that would be it. Yeah, so it's crazy, and we'll see everything that, however it goes. But I'm going to run out. So I'll see you guys later. 987. Bye. I'm going to do the raid. Thank you. Goodbye. See you next week. Bye.